Joe Biden ever got in, China would own the United States. They'd own it. They'd own every one of these people. They'd own this building. They'd own the United States because Biden would give them everything.
After the steel mills fell, it just all crumbled. I'm third generation. I've worked at a steel mill for a year and a half, and now the steel mill ain't even there.
This is just the way of the world. China is an economic rival to the United States. It does export, it does manufacture, and yes, it takes American jobs.
We want to see China rise. China is going to eat our lunch? Come on, man. I mean, they're not bad folks. I believe then, and I'm even more convinced now, that a rising China is an incredibly positive development. China has made remarkable strides.
ABC News investigation this morning into Joe Biden's son Hunter and questions about money he made from foreign business dealings while his father was vice president.
And did Joe Biden allow it? We're talking about millions of dollars in at least 2 countries.
Did you talk about China or your deal with China?
No.
A 12-hour flight over?
No, of course not.
That never came up?
No.
Less than 2 weeks after that trip, BHR Partners was launched, a private equity firm funded in part by Chinese banks.
He has come forward and said it was a mistake on his part to be on the board. My son's business dealings were not anything with everybody that he's talking about.
What's your understanding of what your son was doing for an extraordinary amount of money?
I don't know what he was doing. I know he was on the board.
Hunter Biden holds an equity stake in a company that's taken over $1.5 billion in loans from the Chinese government. This is obviously an issue.
What they said is China would prefer Joe Biden.
China and Iran. China and Iran
want to see Donald Trump's defeat, and they're looking for ways to make that happen.
China's a great nation, and we should hope for the continued expansion. Growth in China is overwhelmingly in our interest, and there's much more to come.
And now the steel mill ain't even there.
Ready to go?
This is a crisis.
This is no time for Donald Trump's record of hysterical xenophobia.
Biden's son inked $1 billion deal with a subsidiary of the Bank of China.
China is going to eat our lunch? Come on, man. They're not bad folks.
Since the outbreak, the Communist Party has been mobilizing overseas organizations to buy local supplies and send them to China.
It is in our self-interest that China continue to prosper. What a beautiful history we wrote together. Banning all travel will not stop it.
The president is right. That travel restriction on China, as every public health official we've talked to said, bought the country time.
That was a very smart move right there.
Hysterical xenophobia. Xenophobia. I complimented him on dealing with China. I'm not going nuts.
China would own our country if Joe Biden got elected.
China steals our jobs. Our technology sickens the world. Now, intelligence reports say China wants to get Joe Biden elected president. Why? Because Joe Biden spent decades coddling China, supporting bad trade deals that closed factories and shipped jobs overseas. As president, Biden would do more of the same. That's why China wants Biden to be president. If Biden wins, China wins, and America loses.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
The reality is that Joe Biden has helped China all along the way, obtaining most favored nation status in the World Trade Organization. And the Obama administration did nothing when Joe Biden was vice president to prevent the outsourcing of millions of jobs and manufacturing to that communist nation.
China is going to eat our lunch? Come on, man. We want to see China rise. It is in our self-interest that China continue to prosper. They're not bad folks, but guess what? They're not competition for us. A rising China can be a significant asset for the region and the world, and selfishly for the United States. We want China to grow. What are we worried about?
Joe Biden's agenda is made in China. My agenda is made in America.
The U.S. attorney announced charges against Dr. Charles Lieber and 2 Chinese nationals today.
A
systematic decision by many of our country's most powerful leaders to sell out America to China.
China is going to eat our lunch? Come on, man.
A 2013 trip to China getting new attention this morning, not for what Joe Biden did, but for who he brought with him.
As the threat from China grew larger and more threatening, Biden seemed to grow more accommodating to the Chinese government.
Questions about money he made from foreign business dealings while his father was vice president.
And they knew they can get to Joe Biden's heart through his son, Hunter Biden.
They hoped to raise $1.5 billion. One person who did not want to talk about it, Joe Biden.
When it was already clear China had lied to the world in ways that hurt the world about a deadly outbreak of the Wuhan coronavirus, Biden was still flacking for the Chinese government.
They're not bad folks. But guess what? They're not competition for us.
China would prefer Joe Biden.
We love this country. We came from China, where communist doesn't work. That's why we came to this country. Now, the Democrats want to make this country to become a communist country. We cannot stand.
Biden's plan is not a solution. It is a virtual surrender. Biden's plan for the China virus is to shut down the entire U.S. economy.
I would shut it down. No miracle is coming.
If I were president today, I would roll back the reopenings in a number of places.
Biden wants to surrender our country to the virus. He wants to surrender our families to the violent left-wing mob. And he wants to surrender our jobs to China.
I would shut it down.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.